proceed to a shadow which will appear in history, and the shadow will have 3 parts. And when the 3 parts of the shadow have ended, the shadow will disappear, and then you see Dajjal in person. And he'll be a human being, he'll be a Jew. He'll be a young man, he'll be powerfully built, and he'll have the sideburns that the Torah require of the Jews. Mu'az ibn Jabal, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, came to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam to ask him about the timeline of events that will occur in Akhir Zaman. The Prophet ﷺ then replied, and these were his words: Umranu Baytil Maqdis, Kharabu Yatrib. When Jerusalem is center stage in the world, at that time Medina would be in forlorn desolation, playing no role at all in affairs of the world. When these 2 things are in place, Jerusalem so high and Medina so low, the next event to occur would be the Malhama, or Armageddon, the Great War. And we are told in another hadith that in that war, 99 out of every 100 who fight will be killed. So it has to be a war using weapons of mass destruction. He then said either 7 months or 7 years after the Great War, the next event to take place would be a Muslim army which will conquer Constantinople. But someone didn't want us to know about that. So what did they do? They changed the name of the city. And they made it haram. You cannot use the name Constantinople anymore. The name that they chose is Istanbul. But guess what? I said to them, get lost. You can't stop me. I wrote a book, and I read the title of the book is Constantinople in the Quran. I defied them. I said, Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he used that name. So it is sunnah to use that name. And it is wickedness to change the name used by the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. But the Turkish people don't want to listen to the truth. Not Turkey. Turkey is not at all willing to listen to the truth, because Turkey worships Turkey. Turkey doesn't worship Allah. Turkey worships Turkey. So the next event after the Great War is the conquest of Constantinople. Why would a Muslim army conquer Constantinople when we want to liberate Jerusalem? Answer: because the Ottoman Empire committed very great errors, wrong things, and we have to correct them in order to build an alliance between the followers of Nabi Isa alayhi salam and the followers of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. This alliance cannot take place until we correct the wrong committed by the Ottoman Empire. Read my book, Constantinople in the Quran. One of the big mistakes that the Ottoman Empire made was to take Hagia Sophia, which is a Christian cathedral, very important, and transform it into a masjid. This was disgraceful. This was shameful. This was sinful. And yet our people clapping when Erdogan converted it to a masjid once again. What kind of Muslim we have today with only peanuts in their head, clapping because the Christian cathedral for the second time is converted to a masjid. But when the Muslim army conquers Constantinople, we will return Hagia Sophia to them. In February, I was in Moscow attending a conference, a very important conference organized by the Russian people. 350 delegates invited, handpicked from all over the world, 130 countries. And I was the only Islamic scholar invited, no one else. And they put me on the platform, and I was the third speaker to speak. They gave me a very high profile in the conference. Russia appreciates my scholarship. My people don't. When the conference was over, the Russian foreign minister, who is the best foreign minister in the whole world today, Sergei Lavrov, he invited us to have dinner with him. Only a little, maybe a dozen or more of us. And I was one of those invited. And he spent 2 hours with us. And during those 2 hours, it's only politics and economics, but then I changed the topic. I said, let's talk about the Quran. And when I changed the topic, everything became silent. The minister is now very serious. And when I told him that our Prophet spoke about the Muslim army conquering Constantinople, he stopped me. He said, I want to tell you how happy I am that you're using the name Constantinople. I then went on to tell him the reason why a Muslim army will conquer Constantinople is because when we conquer Constantinople, we will return Hagia Sophia to you. The foreign minister of Russia was stunned. He never heard that before. This is the timeline. And then he went on, our Prophet went on to say, the next event after the conquest of Constantinople is that Dajjal will now appear in person. Before that, Dajjal is a shadow. You'll find this in Suratul Mursalat of the Quran. Intaliku ila zillin zi salasi shu'ab. Proceed to a shadow which will appear in history, and the shadow will have 3 parts. And when the 3 parts of the shadow have ended, the shadow will disappear, and then you see Dajjal in person. And he'll be a human being, he'll be a Jew. He'll be a young man, he'll be powerfully built, and he'll have the sideburns that the Torah require of the Jews. This is the hadith of Ma'az ibn Jabal.